My friend expected a free wedding service despite my own struggles.
Pay your friend!
So a few years back, I had a couple of businesses. One where I was a virtual assistant doing graphic design, websites, marketing, admin, bookkeeping, photo and video editing, social media, resume writing, recruitment, HR, and ops. The list went on. I also had a weddings and event business where I had a photo booth, event hire, and a team of photographers, videographers, and event planners. By the way, this comes from Ecstatic Chair 8691 on the r/charlottedobreyoutube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So I'll start with the wedding and events business. I had so many family and friends reach out to me wanting my photo booth for free for birthdays, engagements, weddings, housewarmings, a fun Saturday night. Originally, I only offered to do digital only, so there wouldn't be any cost for me having the photos to be printed out, just pics posted with my watermark on social media pages. These were the conditions of using it for free. I would use these freebies to trial props, signs, different backdrops, etc. Take photos for social media as well as videos and see what worked and what didn't. Soon after, though, it got a bit too popular with friends and family, even getting to the point I had more free bookings than paid, and they all thought that digital only just wasn't the same as regular photo booth, and people really needed the prints to be included. I said sure, if they pay for the paper, which was not cheap at all, and they would scoff and say that I should include it at my own cost. I'm a business, so you can claim it on tax or small tax business hack gibberish tip here, and if I really want a good review or for them to promote my business, I'd provide it. I did end up caving, and they never did end up posting a review or promoted it.
Which is why we don't cave.
Then people wanted me to remove my watermarks on the photos, and if I didn't, they would just crop them out themselves. To which I would happily comment on their posts, reminding them that this photo was taken by at the business name here. Then DM them saying, as per the terms you agreed and signed, please be sure to tag us if it just so happens you can't keep the OG size of the photo and you had to crop it. If it was the person who booked it, they would have to fill out paperwork for it, and if it was a guest of theirs, I would have a big sign saying, if you take a photo in the booth, you agree for it to be shared on my business social media and website. No cropping photos or removing my watermark. When some friends of friends got married, they would reach out and invite me out for brunch, wanting to catch up, only to tell me they are engaged and planning their engagement and wedding and need advice and the lowdown on all the vendors who I recommend, who's the cheapest, etc. Now, originally, I'd give a little bit of my resources away, refer a few people I enjoyed working with before, venues that I thought they'd enjoy. Then, when it came to talk to them about their budgets or what I could offer and provide, only for them to tell me that they've already booked photo, video, and event hire elsewhere, just feel free to bring along the photo booth as part of your wedding gift to us. They still wanted us to pay $300 to $500 cash as well, and the venue is going to set it all up while their sister, who usually was a bridesmaid or maid of honor, would be their day of coordinator, because why pay me to do something they've already organized? But I'd usually end up having the bride's appointed planner find out that I'm a planner/stylist day of or at the hen's party or engagement, and would wind up handballing it to me, then claiming the credit. Then there are those that wanted me for my services. Told me because they have family overseas or their budget on XYZ has blown out that they really can't afford to spend any money on someone to help plan for now. But they saw my work and would love it if I could help them because they have no idea and they would just be so grateful. Some did barter services. Not all, but some did. And of effing course, I couldn't say no on being a part of their big day. One wedding, I did the styling, planning, and coordination. Her hen's party organized a surprise video from her family in Europe who couldn't come, and edited it, and played it at the wedding dinner. I was up nearly 24 hours that day. Another bride and friend of mine, I did her wedding and her hen's do, and on the lead up to both, she would always have meetings, planning stationery, seating plans, food. She was vegan. We'd go to IKEA heaps just to get ideas. I'd show her my suppliers' products to give her ideas on things to buy. I bought arbors, fabric specifically for her day, which I could use again, and so much more. Her day/days were beautiful. This was another very long day as well, and all I got were a set of cheese knives for my efforts. My business cards always disappeared when I tried to leave them out for promo because they're being picked up though?
I guess that's probably good, or they're all being thrown away, but at least you got the cheese knife set, Gromit.
At least you have your cheese knives,
Oh,
grommet.
I'll have my cheese knives. This is why contracts for business are important. You just, if someone wants your stuff, you go, okay, here you go. Here's the contract.
Yeah.
You can sign it. Oh, I thought when you do it for free. Oh, not going to happen.
You can just be like, I just don't do this for free anymore. The absolute worst, though, was a mutual friend of a friend. She was my very first photo booth booking for pre-drinks before a festival when I first started out, and the photos from that day were so great, I still use them on my socials and websites years later. She had her engagement party not after I left my DV marriage, because I caught him cheating on me, going to spicy sleep clubs, and being obsessed with one of them. She originally messaged me about 6 to 8 months before her big day and asked me for another freebie. She wanted to do digital only again and whatever I could do to make it free because she just opened her own small business and didn't have much money to spend, which I had helped her set up also. I created the websites, forms, booking, and appointment stuff, which she paid me for, and gave me free sessions on top of. I agreed since she paid for her other business, which was worth way more, and gave me some free beauty treatments in return on top. Now, when I got punted out of my marital home by my harmful ex-husband about 4 to 5 months later, I was scrambling to find a place to live, find a lawyer, a full-time job to pay for said divorce lawyer, all while dealing with my POS ex haunting me and bad-mouthing me all over social media and spreading lies and causing me to be sent to the hospital multiple times, not a grippy sock vacation. My body shut down due to stress, and I stopped eating. She added LOL, but
in all caps, she added LOL, which you gotta have humor about stuff.
for sure.
Good.
Just wanted to clarify that was her saying LOL. Due to my very public humiliation, homelessness, my ex trying to make me pass away of embarrassment from his posts, stress, and the fact I had bigger things to deal with than a free photo booth booking that I never received any signed forms for, nor even an invitation, I had forgotten about it completely. She knew exactly what was going on, saw all the posts my ex made, even commented on a few, shocked that I was putting him through heck and siding with him, I later found out. She knew I had been in hospital, knew I wasn't doing too well, but didn't even reach out once to see if I was okay or to touch base on her day. Just assumed I'd show up. Instead, she just messaged me on the day 2 hours before, asking where the F I was to set up. By the way, you never have to wonder where we are. To listen to full episodes with stories just like this, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. But we have more. But how you
Yeah,
doing?
baby.
How you
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah, more story. Yeah, this is just a case of like OP. You need to create a dirty framework for your business, invoices, etc. Whatever. It's just you just say I'm not doing that. And then if your friends are like, "Wow, well we're done with you," you'd be like, "Okay, so you're not you've never been my friend then." So it's okay because you'd rather lose these people.
These are also friends of friends at this point. Like, you are so far removed from anyone that should get a freebie.
Direct relatives, best friend of your life, maybe the only people who should get freebies. And
or
even then,
someone that you know is like really struggling and you want to help.
Yeah.
But, like, also, like, the one that you helped set up the website, she was really nice. She paid you and gave you freebies. So,
if it's,
like,
you
if
know,
it's that, then for sure. Like, but she was still getting paid in some way.
But
Yes.
that's why we also have the friends and family discount.
Just a discount, not for free.
not for
free.
free, it's a discount. I tried to give my family free like work when I was doing drone photography, and it was like, no, I'm gonna pay you. And I was like, okay, that's that.
Time is money.
Biggest thing film school taught us was, like, after a couple months, nothing free.
Absolutely.
Get paid. Now, admittedly, I feel a little bit bad about missing this. However, after the vid, I wasn't trying to get a lot of bookings and didn't have any but hers on the books anyways. She never sent back the forms, despite following up twice and getting empty promises. And after being punted out and left on the street, I was dealing with a lot and just wasn't coping, and paperwork for a free gig wasn't top of my list of things. Our mutual friend, who was very supportive, had told her what was going on and told her not to expect me to come, let alone bring the photo booth, because I wasn't doing well in between working 3 different jobs, running the businesses, being in and out of hospital because I wasn't able to eat without vomiting or pain, and my body was shutting down. Fighting my demons while being publicly humiliated on social media by my ex was feeding everyone lies and trying to ruin what little life I had left. What do you think? Entitled, or did she have grounds?
She has ground that she should.
Walk away on.
Yeah, exactly. You have grounds to leave me alone. Get out of here.
That was a lot of information about the businesses just for her to be like, Should I do this for free? No.
No.
I told you that at the
Would you
beginning.
go to work for someone else for free?
You didn't have a
If you-
contract. She didn't
Yeah.
follow up. Like, how?
If you worked at McDonald's, would you go to work for McDonald's for free? Then why would you work for yourself for free? That's crazy.
Don't work anywhere for free.
There, we said it. We did it. The hottest take, don't work for free for no reason. Texas tart. My friend copies everything I do, and now I'm starting to question my sanity.
Do something really crazy she has to copy.
I, mid-20s, female, am currently in the process of completing my master's degree. About a year ago, I needed a job so bad so I could pay off my fees and landed in a retail shop for a small company, but I'm confident in calling it successful. I was very happy because I'm from a country where unemployment is at its ultimate high, and to have someone hire me while still studying was very much good. By the way, this comes from user iLosingIt6457 on the r/charlottedobreyoutube YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. There I met my manager, also mid-20s, Emily. She was very sweet, very kind, and all that. She was also pursuing a new degree. That's what she said. I found out months later she was lying. By the second month of getting the job, I had already got the hang of all the daily runnings of my work and was already hardworking. The boss would somehow always say how much he feels I'm not catching up with the work, even though I would do all of my duties. This was frustrating because she knew I was doing all the work, and why was he never satisfied with the amount of work I was doing? And she would tell me she was speaking up for me to him. He is just a naturally unhappy person. I would cry, she would console me, and tell me she has the power to get anyone fired or kept in the shop. So I shouldn't work. I'm there to stay. And I found out later she did not have this power.
No, they never do when they say that.
At this point, she was a dear friend to me. Now, this is where things started to fall apart. When my manager realized I could technically run the shop without her, she would always be late in peace because I had the keys to open up and got out during work hours to do whatever she wanted and asked me to tell her when the bosses would arrive so she could come back and lie and say she had a meeting somewhere. I would always back her up because I felt indebted to her. This became overwhelming because I was working for two people and I was getting burnt out because of my schoolwork and work. Eventually, the boss realized that she wasn't pulling her weight and she would complain about how ungrateful he is, that she's even always there at work and willing to do it. So at this point, we were still very good friends, and I was still covering up for her. Now, this is where I believe I'm crazy. At the beginning of this year, I decided I wanted to show up for myself and had a point to prove to myself that I can get whatever I wanted if I worked hard enough. I told myself I'm not carrying anyone's burdens, and I will try to see what I can do to change the shop that gave me a chance. So I started with myself. I decided to change my style. I have always liked crop tops, so I needed a new minimalist, clean girl aesthetic and tweaked it to my own sense of self. Keep in mind that Emily has always dressed very nice in her own very formal outfits. She has always mentioned that I dressed like a teenager, but in a good way. I'm not sure if that's a compliment, but I'll take it because I want to stay forever young. She always said crop tops are provocative and she wants to dress classy to not give the wrong idea to men. She also said she doesn't do sneakers or track pants because they're not classy, which is fine with me. To each their own. Now, as I changed my style, she all of a sudden changed hers. She started wearing crop tops and baggy pants just like me. I tried to dismiss it, but I could see so much resemblance in her outfits. Then the backpacks. She has always been a handbag girly. She asked where I got it. I told her, and she bought the exact same one, just a different color. Then it became a pattern. When I bought something, she would ask where I got it from, and I would tell her. So one day, she asked where I got these baggy track pants. I lied to her and told her a different site from where I got them. I found her searching on the site looking for the track pants. It's not only that. When I started growing my nails, she asked me advice on how to grow hers, and I gladly gave her the advice. Then my jewelry. I started wearing jewelry, and she started to. And I'm not saying she wasn't into jewelry before, but not at the time. When I stopped wearing jewelry, she stopped too. Please bear in mind that this didn't bother me before. It's starting to bother me now as I'm realizing the pattern. Most of our stuff are the same now, down to something as earphones. I know this is stupid to even notice, but I can't help it. It's not stupid to notice this. This is psychotic behavior.
This makes me wonder if someone like came into the shop or wherever you work and like complimented OP or like told Emily like, oh, I really like OP, and like maybe she liked that person, or like maybe she was like, I want that attention, so now she's like hyper focused on like, I need to look just like her so that these same people like me. But like, this is weird.
Like, what is it that you got that she wants so bad?
And what clicked to make her like suddenly do this?
Yeah, I don't know. But it's not stupid to realize this. It's
No.
like, this is the behavior of someone who will, like, I don't know, leave you in the woods because they want to steal your place. And everyone will think I'm OP. And then I'll have her life, and it will be perfect. I bought these green Converse, and she dismissed it as those green shoes of yours, like they're not expensive, beautiful shoes. And you know what? She went and bought a knockoff version of the exact same shoes in a different color, and came back to tell me she bought the shoes that are the same as mine. Now she bought sneakers. Did I tell you she thought sneakers were not womanly, and I have always worn sneakers? Anyways, it's winter now. I went and bought coats. When I wore the first one, she said, ooh, nice fur. The fur is on the smallest part of the coat, just the collar. Then when I wore the other coat, she said to me, girl, I am going to have to be your twin. Where did you buy your coat? And when I said, no, I do not want to be your twin, she said, don't gatekeep, because even if you gatekeep where you bought it, because I can hunt it down and buy 2 of them. Why specifying you can buy 2?
Right. Like, you had to buy knockoff Converse. Converse aren't even that. She was like,
Yeah.
this expensive green Converse shoes. Girl, Converse are not expensive compared to most shoes, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
like
This,
$50.
all of her vibes are just off. That was a weird way to compliment someone, but I ended up just telling her where I bought it. When I wore the third coat, she said, ooh, you really told yourself you want to put your foot on our necks with the coats.
This one for like a week. Start dressing really weird. Like, a style that nobody would want. Just suck up the fact that everyone's going to think you're going to look really weird. Let her get all that, and then just go back to your old style.
It'd be less strange if this was just a friend, but it's your manager at work. It's like, that's what makes it so
At
weird.
least this is somebody, though, that you only have to see at work. So as weird as it is, and you definitely should still report them, like, at least this isn't like someone that follows you like everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like, you show up to work, but that's it. Like, you can totally dress completely differently at work and then go home.
This is weird because it makes me uncomfortable to wear my new clothes. She always says how she has style and she is very pretty. She doesn't even have to try hard because she knows she's all that. If she tries too hard, she knows she will look hotter than everyone. That's what she said when she was complaining about how she's struggling with her style. And I tried to help her with creating her own using Pinterest and likewise apps. I am in no way saying that I invented my style. I also had to see it somewhere else, like on Pinterest first, before I liked it and shopped the clothes.
It's
We're
the
just
fact
talking
that it's
about
the
like
exact
that.
same things, though.
Nobody had like the organic idea of like, I'm without any prior knowledge gonna get into t-shirts. It's like,
Right.
no, of course you know what whatever.
Duchess Cassandra said, hear me out, bald cap earlier.
Yeah, just like fake tattoo sleeves, bald cap, wear your sunglasses upside down, 2 hats stacked on top of each other. The craziest thing is her
So
being
fetch.
like, I would have better style, but if I did, I'd be so hot. No men would talk to any other woman on the planet.
The universe just wouldn't be able to handle that. I'm doing you
Yeah.
all a favor, actually.
Yeah, I do this for everyone. Why is she even paying that much attention? Or am I just overthinking it? Anyways, let's move on to work. As I said, new year, new me. I need to get out of my comfort zone. I revamped the website. She told the boss, we revamped the website. I started venturing out to get more business. Every time I would come with good news, she would get moody, or maybe I'm just imagining it. When all my quotes came back, she would act like she had a part in it. Every time I did something good, we speak French, it's we. But she never misses an opportunity to throw me under the bus when I do something wrong or make a mistake. When she does something good, she claims it's only her, which is true. It is only her, but in cases of mistakes, it's another we again to the boss. And by the way, you, me, she, he, me, we can all listen to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the full archive. Now we have a little bit more story here. Get a new job.
Yeah. Go to HR, get a new job. This is crazy.
I guess
This is crazy.
they did make a comment about how in their country the unemployment rate's pretty high. But like,
Okay, but you can totally
Go
look
look
for
for
jobs
another
while
one.
you still have your job.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's
that
like,
is in no way unallowed. Especially if, like, yeah, start by going to HR. Maybe there's a way that if this is like some sort of like shift thing, because it sounds like it might be a store, so maybe you
Yeah.
can go like opposite shifts of this person. Maybe you can do like a do not work with this person. I don't know the vibes, but you can definitely report this somewhere. This is crazy.
strange vibes at the retail establishment. It's crazy. I ran a sale and sent the email to my mailing list that I created. When we started receiving more orders, she copied and pasted the exact same email I sent to the mailing list. The part where you write kind regards, my name, she changed to kind regards, her name.
I will say it probably does look good to have the one business all send the same email, though.
Yeah, but you should get credit.
Yeah.
She doesn't mind keeping my name and copying emails where I'm in trouble. It's so weird. Every time I would get a day off for my schoolwork, when I came back to work, she wants a day off too. When I get sick and I get a day off, when I come back, she is sick too.
Okay, psycho behavior.
I decided to ignore her, but I can't. It makes working a very difficult thing for me. She's very moody most of the time. We laugh 1 second, and the next, she's throwing things around, and I always try to stay in my business, but I'm struggling. So, Reddit, am I a crazy delusional girl who's seeing things in her head, or am I the a-hole for feeling weirded out about this whole thing? Sorry for the long post.
No, I'm sure that in some ways maybe you're seeing a little bit more than she is actually doing because you're on that like locked in train, but she's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If you're literally like, yeah, so we're like cool 1 second, and then she's throwing things around.
Yeah, not cool.
You know that you're not weird for thinking that's kind of weird,
Yeah.
right? Come on,
that,
folks.
My friend accused me of stealing her ex-boyfriend after she gave me the go signal.
Yeah, not how that works.
A year ago, my 20 female best friend, 19 female Susan, and her boyfriend, 19 male Billy, broke up, and it was super messy. I was on my best friend's side for a while. She asked me if I ever heard anything about him that I should tell her. By the way, this comes from Platypus Signal 9032 on the r/comfortlevelpod subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. About 4 months later, Billy downloaded Snapchat and added me. I immediately texted Susan and asked her what to do. We don't ever really see each other because we both go to different colleges. So that's why most of this is over text. She said, "You can add him back. You are so sweet. He's your friend too. I'm not going to take that away from you." So clearly, I thought it was okay.
Okay, now you're so wrong.
That's an okay. You can add him as a friend.
That's crazy that you were like, and I thought that I was okay to hook up with him and date him now.
Me and Billy have been friends since the 5th grade, and me and Susan have been friends since the 8th grade. Since I was on Susan's side of the breakup, I tried to have little to no conversation with him out of respect for her. 5 months later, I got a super long message from Susan saying how she doesn't like how I am pursuing her ex-boyfriend and how it's been on her mind for months now. Reminder, I was trying to keep conversation to a minimum. I never reached out and only ever replied. When I replied, I was super short in my responses. So I told her that that wasn't true and I don't know where she's getting this from. She also said she didn't like that we hung out and I hadn't seen this man since they broke up. So I have no idea where all of this is coming from. So clearly I was confused. I sent the screenshot of her saying it was okay for me to add him back, and I said, "You said you didn't care and that I can be friends with whoever I want." And she said that that still stands. So I was confused because she's contradicting herself. We cleared things up, and I ended up cutting all contact with him out of respect for her. Side note, in high school, me, Susan, Billy, and Billy's best friend John hung out every single day. We were inseparable. So all three of them became my closest friends. Anyway, once I cut off Billy, he got worried and called me once a month for 2 months to check on me because I just disappeared off the face of the earth to him. I never answered until the 3rd month call. I answered it because me and Susan haven't talked since we decided I should cut Billy off, which is strange because I just cut off one of my closest friends for her, and then she stops talking to me. On the phone call, he checks up on me since I disappeared, and he suggested that the next time we are all in our hometown from college, that me, him, and John should catch up. I was kind of hesitant because I wanted to be loyal to Susan, but Susan hasn't reached out in 4 months. I eventually decided to meet up with them. We got to talking, and after hearing his side of the breakup, which made a lot more sense than her side, I was now on his side. All the things she told me made him out to be the villain, and after hearing his side, she's actually the said villain. See, that is always going to be how that's going to happen, though.
Yeah.
Whoever you talk to, the other person's going to be the one that...
I mean, I don't know. Not every time, but like...
But in things where it's
definitely-
like no one did anything like outwardly outrageous, like you're always going to hear a little bit more from the one person than the other.
You're certainly getting one side of the
Right.
story.
Right.
Like,
He was in shock when I told him what I knew. Yes, both could have handled it way better, and no one is perfect, but he was the victim. After comparing both sides, we came to the conclusion that she 99% cheated on him. They broke up on a Tuesday, and she went to a concert with a new guy on Saturday. It was her coworker, Steve. Earlier that year, she would tell me that her manager and other coworkers thought that her and Steve were dating. In my opinion, if someone thinks someone is dating someone, they obviously are being a little more than friendly. She works until 11 p.m., and Billy Billy would wait for her every night to hang out with her once she got off. Most of the time, she wouldn't get off until 1 a.m. When Billy told me this, I was super confused because a few times I was at her work and waited for her to close, and it only took 20 minutes. Yeah, we can bump that to 100 for sure.
110 at this point. Why not?
So things weren't really adding up. But anyway, 1 month after the concert, they were official. Now I've been hanging out with Billy and John and having a great summer. Today was me and Susan's mutual friend's wedding. I texted her and told her I hoped to see her there and wanted to catch up. She was very short with me. I saw her at the wedding. I tried to make small talk and she just ignored me and walked off. I feel like I am not in the wrong here. I texted her tonight to ask her why she was ignoring me and asked if it was because me, Billy, and John are hanging out. I will update when she responds. And we have the update. I am so sorry for not separating this into paragraphs. My bad. I am sure that was super hard to read. I sent a message to Susan saying how she seemed short over text and was very distant at the wedding. I knew it was me hanging out with Billy and John, but I wanted to still ask her about it. She said that she's a really guarded person and wants nothing to do with Billy. She understands that I can't just drop them as friends, so that's why she has been distancing herself. She doesn't want me to pick between them and doesn't want to get into the middle of it. She also said she is trying to protect her peace. I replied and said, "You are making me choose, and I don't want to. I've been lonely, and Billy and John have been there for me. I understand you want to protect your peace, but I still don't see how we can't be friends." Susan says, "I know it sucks, and that's why I'm choosing for you. So you don't have to. I know they're good friends, and I want you to keep that. I just can't really ignore the fact that you hang out with him, and I can't be able to put on a fake face when I'm with you. I just can't. But that's okay. I know they're good friends, and things are just different now. It's a me problem. I just really don't need to worry about the fact that my friend is still hanging out with my ex, so that's why I've been protecting myself from it and just letting it happen because I seriously don't want to get in the middle of anything." Me? Okay, sounds like your decision is already made. I wish you had just talked to me about it before cutting me off and being distant. That's not how friends handle things, but I accept your decision. But make no mistake, this was your decision, not mine. I'm just giving you what you asked for after I had to beg to find out what was wrong. That's exhausting. But I was willing to do it for who I thought was my BFF, who had just become too busy for me. TBH, this hurts. When you're ready to work it out, let me know. She replied saying how she doesn't want to do this, and it's not that I don't want to be friends with you. I just don't want to be associated with the people you're associated with. So since you are associated with all of that, unfortunately, it makes it hard for me to still be friends with you. It's nothing against you. Some of my best memories are with you, but it's just hard to continue because of what you're associated with. By the way, you can always associate with us with full stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. Got a little bit more, but I don't know. I feel like the second that she said like, hey, this isn't like I'm making this decision for you because I know that he was your friend first and like they're there for you and everything, I feel like that should have been like, I will mutually respect that. Like, we're done then. Not like, come back to me and talk when you're ready to work this out. Like, no, just let the friend go. She doesn't want to be friends with you. You are clearly enjoying your time with your other friends. Let them be. You guys haven't talked in months.
Right, it's been like 4 months of like
Right.
no communication whatsoever.
We don't need to be
But
fighting.
that
for
goes like both ways.
Right. She's in the wrong for not
So-
telling you this straight up and making you ask for it over and over again. But now that she's told you this verbatim, don't be like, and come back to me when you've like changed your mind and we're like, I get that you're hurt, but like, we don't need to keep this going. If she truly wanted to be my friend, she would have tried to talk to me sooner and we could have tried to work things out. I just don't understand why I can't hang out with her and not talk about Billy. Yeah, you know, you could, like, I am, like, you don't need to be hanging out with her and actively being like, and when I hang out with Billy, like, I can understand that line
Yeah.
of don't
I mean,
cross it. But she
you can
says
just
why I
have-
can't hang out with her and not talk about Billy. You don't need to be talking about Billy with her.
Talk about anything else in the whole world.
Anything else. I have a few friends that are friends with people I don't like, and I have a great relationship with them. I understand, though, that it is her ex, but me and him have been buddies way longer than me and her were friends. When me and Billy and John reconnected, I apologized immediately for ghosting him. He understood, and now we joke about it all the time. Susan has chosen to not be my friend anymore, and I have accepted that. I was willing to work things out, and she didn't want to. I'm going to give her space and will try to be open to talking to her if someday we ever reconnect. Then they ask, am I the a-hole? I mean, you went to the friend that I don't know. Like, this is such a weird thing of like, it's not your fault that friend isn't able to continue a relationship because like that was your friend's choice. She was like, I don't want to do that. But if you were out here like actively being like, so when me and Billy hang out, and she's like, can we maybe not talk about Billy? And you're like, but Billy and I, then like you might be riding
Yeah.
a line of it. That sentence was confusing me a bit.